Today we're gonna unbox and mount the liquid freezer to 360 A-RGB sent over by Arctic. But this is not everything they sent over, because we also have the A-RGB controller, which is of course a controller with a remote, which is super neat because you don't have to use external programs or a button and so on. They also send the Summair Light, which is a fan to cool down mainly laptops. You plug it in and you orientate it to the hottest part of your laptop, so CPU, GPU and so on. And of course some thermal paste, the MX5, because even though the radiator already has the MX5 pre-installed, you're gonna need some thermal paste. Thanks a lot to Arctic for all these PC parts. Let's begin mounting them.
Jack it up.
First thing first, let's open the 360 radiator. While I open it up, let's talk about some features of this bad boy. It has 6 years warranty, which is awesome, because if a company has this confidence in a product, this already means that it's going to be long lasting, which is dope. It's also compatible with most RGB programs out there. The ASRock Polychrome Sync, which I personally use because my motherboard is a B460 Steel Legend. It's compatible with Gigabyte, with Aorus, with MSI, so the main motherboard manufacturers.
You were fine all this time, I was inside out. Put my heart in your hands till it came back round. Didn't think that you'd fallen so deep. Didn't know that I had it in me. Guess my sanity breaks way too.
A really nice feature, which I'm really impressed by how few companies do this. We have a QR code which we can scan. This way we've got the online manual. We don't need to have the papers. So it's good for the environment and it's good for Arctic because it's something they don't need to pay. There you go. We have the online side. In order to mount the mounting mechanism, we need to get these this part, and we need to screw them down with these long screws. These are for the Intel 20 sockets, and in my case I'm using an Intel i3 10100F, so we need this mounting mechanism, and there you go with the second one. Okay, we need to make sure it's screwed down completely so that the pressure on the CPU will be the same on all sizes. And we now need to go to the PC. This is the normal amount of mess I get while I record a video.
Back down, bring it to a halt, you're whack and it's all your fault. Back down, bring it to a halt, you're whack and it's all your fault. Back down, back down, back down, back down.
I have removed the old all-in-one. Let me turn off the monitor because this bluish effect, I don't like it. And we now need to clean the CPU. It would be a great idea to use some isopropyl alcohol, but I don't have it, so as we say here in Italy, mattacarcato. And I use some tower paper. And there you go. It was pretty dried out, to be honest. I now need to install the bracket, which is this boy right here. We have 3 holes for the holes that we've got on the motherboard, on the socket. There are these 3 screws, and we need to align the bracket to fit these screws. And as you can see, it's monodirectional. So the screws right here needs to go with this hole. And we need to use these little screws, which are almost invisible right now. We need to use these screws so that we can attach the heatsink.
That's how it was, and that's how it is.
Because of the heatsinks for the VRAM, this is not the most comfortable situation ever, but I'm trying to tighten them up.
You were mine, don't know why I was upside down. Had a flame in your eyes, all I saw was doubt. Oh.
So I want to mount this radiator on the front of the PC and on intake. So I need to flip this fans over. And a small note, you should keep in mind that this radiator is really thick. So like 3 centimeters or just a little bit over an inch wide. So keep that in mind while you're building your PC.
Got lost in my own world. Made a choice, now it's too late to return. Watch my sanity break away too easy.
Bring it to a halt, back down. Bring it to a halt, you're back and it's all your fault. Back down. Bring it to a halt, you're back and it's all your fault. Back down, back down, back down, back down. That's how it was, and that's how it is. Back.
I've managed to mount the fans in intake on the front and the radiator here inside the case. I had to unmanage all the cable management because otherwise I wouldn't be able to make the cables pass through here, because the cables go right on the pump, so that it's more easy to connect them to the controller or directly to the motherboard. We now need to put the thermal paste, the pump, and then we should be ready to go. This didn't make a satisfying sound. And this is the MX5. It's 0.8 grams, so for a single use you don't even have to worry, is it too much, is it too little? No, you just need to put everything, boom, there you go. This has a slightly different color than the MX2. Okay, maybe this is too much. We can now put the pump right here. We need to align the holes. And we can screw it down with these little thumb screws. Oh my god, how am I gonna do this? This could be a problem. This will be a problem. And I've lost all the other screws. Okay, we can now completely screw the pump in, always in this X shape. We can now go to cable manage all this mess. Let's have a look at this controller. Let's open it up and let's see what we've got. The remote itself, some cables. Oh, there's a pull tab, nice. We have a couple of screws and some double-sided tape, and of course the controller itself, which also looks really nice, man. This is clean. We've got this little QR code which you can scan and see the instruction. I'm gonna read them and then install it. On the bottom side we've got a SATA connection which we plug in directly to the power supply, and then the port, this port which you connect the cable that is included, and then you can connect the A-RGB control on your motherboard. First of all, the cables from the pump and the radiator. This is the power connection, so we're gonna mount it to the CPU fan port. But then we've got this 3-pin connector which we can plug on the controller. There you go. We now need to attach it somewhere. Ooh, maybe here. Oh yes, I'm gonna place it here on the SATA port. This is how the PC presents itself with this awesome 360 all-in-one controlled by this remote. In fact, I can turn it off. I pressed twice. I can change color super easily. I can change the pattern which the color uses to turn on. You see? I can change the speed of it, the brightness. You have multiple choices of lighting. I want just the normal rainbow effect, and there you go, I've got it. I want to change color, I can change it on the go. And it's extremely nice, especially considering how polychrome is still pretty bad for my motherboard, at least, because it has multiple problems, but this is another story. As for temperatures, this is really nice, because if I open Core Temp, which is the software I always use to keep track of my temperatures, you can see we're chilling at just above 20 degrees. We are at 22, the hottest core has 24 degrees. And in this room there are 23 degrees with the air conditioning. Exactly room temperature. But we're not done yet, because there is also this really interesting Summair Light. Let's open it up and have a look at it. Ooh, nice bag for traveling, because of course, as I said earlier, this is mainly for laptops. And there you go. We have our USB type A, and we can adjust the speed of the fan, and this is it. I'm gonna grab my laptop and let's try it out. This is my Acer Swift 3, nothing special, an i5 8th gen, but if you wanna play light games on it like Valorant, it gets pretty hot. So this is the solution. This is really cool. You attach this fan right here and you turn it up, and as you can see, it starts spinning, and you can adjust where it points just by moving it around, and it can actually move a nice amount of air. And especially the keyboard gets really hot, so this is really nice for it. An easy solution for a thermal problem. Or you can just place it like this, so it's cooling the chassis itself. Let's make a quick recap about this new system of heatsink. It has a really nice look. I was pretty skeptical about the pump, the look of the pump, but once it's mounted, it's really cool. That's a plus. The radiator size is huge, so I'm going to make some stress tests and record the temps. You're probably seeing it right now, and this will grant nice temperature, and the fans are very good. The controller has 2 little ports in my opinion, because we have 3 ports. I would have liked to see at least 5 of them, but the remote is super nice, because if I want to just turn off the fans, that one is actually connected to the PC itself because of the few ports it has, but the rest of the PC, as you can see, is turned off, and this is nice. Also, the fan for the laptop is really useful, and you can also use it on the go. It requires no external power, so very nice. Thanks to you for sticking until the end of the video, and I'll see you next week.
Jack it up.